Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have with us Brandy Vaughn Holten. She and her husband turned a forgotten family farm into a trail facility that is reshaping the equine industry. And her former full contact fighting experience plus a life with hard lessons made her a champion in this business today. So we learn from her about how she overcame obstacles and setbacks and now leads as a female business owner in a demanding field. Welcome to the show, Brandy.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show, Brandy. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people, a lot of business owners, a lot of female business owners would benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll talk about confidence, we'll talk about resilience, and we'll talk about female leadership. We'll talk about all this. But before that, Brandy, let's talk a bit about your journey, your background, your story, so that the audience knows who they are listening to.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from South Texas, and we moved to Arkansas, and from there, that's where I went to college at. I had a kind of pretty rough childhood, but you know what? I'm 46. I'm past that now. So my degrees are in biology with a minor in physics. I have a degree in criminal justice, and then my master's in teaching. That sounds amazing. But that first college degree took 5.5 years. I had to overcome some cancer then. And then I didn't really want to get the second college degree, had to do that to be on my parents' insurance. But then it worked out because I needed both of those degrees to get my master's in teaching. And then I became a school teacher for 11 years. But all throughout that time and before college, I got into Olympic Taekwondo. And it's full contact. If you knock them out, you win. If they can't control the bleeding within 60 seconds, you win. And I represented the United States as a heavyweight. I made it to 5 international teams. And I did Taekwondo for 23 years, took 11 years off, and then went back in 2024. And I fought one more year as a 44-year-old. I got second at a regional qualifier, and then I got reminded that I'm not as young as I used to be at nationals. I fought the girl that had won nationals the last 2 years, and she knocked me down twice. I knocked her down twice, but I wasn't seriously injured or anything like that. But I did get back in the ring after 11 years off. I write children's books. I've got 3 that are published. I do keynote speaking and motivational speaking. I won Missouri's Best Business Coach this year. My husband and I, we bought his family farm that's been in the same family since 1906. When we purchased it in 2013, it had not been lived on since 1979. We always say it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. Well, we had to raise the dead and then give birth to this business. And now it's been open for 12 years. And we won Missouri's Best Ranch for the last 2 years. And we built it all ourselves. So that is, my husband used to race dirt bikes. We do not have any children. And that's us. And then I'm a fighter, I'm a writer, I'm a science based girl. We used to do weddings. We don't do weddings anymore, and now we built a venue. We use it for homesteading classes. So me and a Mennonite lady, like they wear long dresses that they made. We teach like people how to can food, how to make bread, how to garden, and so we have homesteading classes now. So we do all sorts of stuff here. I also do mounted archery. I transitioned from fighting to mounted archery. So I've been on 8 magazine covers since 2015.
I'm just counting the number of things that you have done, and I'm just wondering what else is left, Brandy. Means, how did you manage all these things?
Well, they all, like, a lot of times things were going on at the same time. I will tell you the thing that I have not done yet. I want to be one of those people that I mean, because I'm heavy set, right? I'm a heavy girl. I want to be one of those girls that loses 100 pounds naturally and then like lead a tribe of people to do the same thing. You know what? I will tell you my motivation. I've actually been to a counselor over it. My motivation started for like a negative reason, but then I enjoy the person that I am with my motivation and my roar, that I don't try to fix it. I never got approval from my parents on a lot of stuff, so I was always at the beginning like searching for that approval, and I would just do these big things. But now I don't need their approval anymore, and I don't want to fix this because it works for me. So yeah, I've done some crazy stuff. I've done some crazy stuff. And I stayed in college way too long. Way too long. I just got that stuff paid off last year. I was in college for like 10 years. But a lot of things have, oh, I used to train police officers. I did that for 2 years, but I did that while I was in my second college degree and ending my first college degree. So there was a lot of things that just, they just stacked on top of each other. So
Absolutely. So I'll come to the business part of things, Brandy, but I want to understand all these things over the years, so many things that you did achieved, at a national level also. What has been your learning about life?
man, my learning about life is, yeah, you are always ready. Everybody always wants to wait till they get ready. You're ready right now. If you would, man, if people would take the mindset of I'm going to do this right here, and then I'm going to learn, and then the next time I do it, I'm going to do really well. They would find out they would do fine the first time. Just anything is achievable. That's what I have learned. And a lot of times things that I really was passionate about, everybody talks so poorly about, but then I found my people. I always find my people. So like we started a United States mounted archery, and people were like, oh, nobody's going to want to do that. Oh yeah, they do. This is this month makes 1 year that we started that, and I have people in like 6 states that are coming on board even whenever it's new. I don't know. My thing is just find your people, and just communication is key. Just explain what you're doing and your people will find you.
What is your biggest skill, Brandy, that gives you the most confidence about things?
Okay. My biggest skill is that I prepare. With the fighting, what made me I'm right under 5'7", okay? The tallest girl I ever fought was 6'6". But what gave me the confidence to get into that was that if anything matters, then everything matters. So you have to make sure you have groceries in the house. You got to make sure that your laundry's done. You got to make sure you have good relationships with the people in your life. You got to make sure your bank account is, checked and everything. You just have to make sure you're drinking enough water. So like whenever I prepare for things and I know that I am getting things done in my life, then I feel prepared. And whenever I feel prepared and like I put in the work and I sacrifice, then I feel like I have paid my dues. And that is what has helped me out the most is I prepare. So
Absolutely, Brandy. Preparation is the key. How did you get into this business thing? Did you prepare for it before, or it just came out of nowhere? What inspired you into this? Help us understand about this
okay.
particular business that you're in.
So the horse trail riding facility, I used to always travel with my horse, and I would meet some family members at some other trail riding facilities. And we seen some things, and it felt like the people were tired. The people that were the host, it just felt like they were tired. And I was like, I think I can do that better, and I was in love with the romance of the idea of owning a trail riding facility. It is so much work. And then it's other people's vacation, but it's my job, So every holiday, we're here working, right, with a bunch of different irons in the fire. And but what got us into this was my husband always wanted to own this family farm. It was his father's family farm. Well, then his father and his mother divorced, and he lived basically with his mother. And he would always come back here with his father, and he always wanted to own this family farm. Well, then his father always said no, 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 because he had a bunch of other kids, and he was just going to sell it and disperse the money. Well, then my husband asked him one time, it was like November of 2013. And he's like, hey, if you ever want to keep that farm together, he's like, I would love to purchase it. And that man said yes. Oh my gosh. So within 30 days, so by December, so we went from November to December, we had double mortgages. We had a place that we had 40 acres and a home on it, and it was going to be paid off before I was like 52, and we weren't going to owe the world anything. And my husband, I actually had gone to a fight in November, and I come home, and my husband's like, hey, my father said that I could buy the family farm. And I was like, okay. So with us not having children, I just felt like I shouldn't say no, because that was always his dream to own the family farm. And he knew how much I loved horses. And we had always talked about how we thought we could do a trail riding facility better than what we had seen some of them. And so, dude, listen to this. We sold our property, and it sold too fast because we had a really cute little piece, like a small farm, right? It sold too fast. And we quit the 2 best paying jobs we ever had because we had to move to where the family farm was. We had to live in a horse trailer, and not a fancy one, okay? Like something, it was for just staying a weekend in. It didn't have a bathroom. We ended up using the bathroom in a 5-gallon bucket with cat litter for 2 months, okay? Because we had to build something. And so that's what got us all started, was my husband's love for this farm, right? Because it is family owned. And my willingness to be like, sure, let's get rid of everything we work for. But I know this is a dream, to own this. So that's what got us in motion. And boy, I'm glad I didn't know what the heck we were getting into, because we would have never done it. If we would have known how hard it was going to be, we wouldn't have done it.
Absolutely. So what about the business? See, getting a farm into your hands because of sentimental reasons, and then, but building it into a business, that needs a lot of thoughts, and also the, business sense also for all these things.
Wow.
And how did that come about? How
Well-
did you seek that information, knowledge to build something which would turn out to be, a happy ending?
Okay. And I don't know if it's a happy ending. It's a hard work ending for sure. I mean, like we do love being here. Okay. So here is what it took was I did not want to fail. I did not want to fail. And I started with Facebook, right? And then I was like, I'm going to share every day. I'm going to share our journey. Well, so many people tuned in to our journey because they were like, are these people going to do it? Right. And it snowballed into, I needed to have an LLC, but I could not afford a lawyer. So I was like, well, let me see how hard this is. And I messed up on it. But it was still cheaper for me to fix it than it was to hire a lawyer. And then after I figured that out, then social media was actually pretty easy for me because I'm a communicator. Like I talk, I'm not shy. expect like fighting, you used to have to put your weight on a necklace and walk around with it so you could just hand somebody your weight on a card. Like I've never been a non-confident person. So that helped out. Then I needed a website. Well, I took a college class about how to do websites, but it was old school. It was codes and stuff like that. A lady that was one of my clients, she had bought 2 founder accounts for Kajabi. So she didn't need both of them. So I bought one of the founder accounts. Now Kajabi, I don't know if people are familiar with that, but you can have your website on there. It can do, you can have all of your contacts on there. You can do forms on there. You can do payments, like send someone a link. Well, I just had to learn how to do all of that because I didn't have the money to hire anybody else. And I'm willing to try things and fail. Like I don't really consider it failure. I consider it education, right? I just, every time I fail at something, that failure was needed for me to do something better. And now I just see in my world, in the agricultural world, there are so many people that they're really good at what they do, but they're not good at management and they're not good at marketing, right? And a lot of times they don't think about the future. So they're not really like an entrepreneur. They're really good at what they do. Like if they break horses, if they put up hay, if they're a green bean farmer, they're really good at that. And so I read every day. And so there's just a lot of knowledge that carried over from things. Something that helps me the most is I used to be a school teacher and they're always making you do professional development. Well, I forced myself to do professional development and I stayed highly organized with like 4 different planners at one time. I think the fact that I'm an old school teacher, right? And I was a fighter, so I'm used to having to do a lot of grunt work. And the thing that made my husband and I successful is that he is the exact opposite of me. He doesn't want to be around anybody and he just wants to build, and he's like blue collar construction guy. So he built this place and I fill this place. So we had 2 different jobs and neither one of us we're too headstrong to fail. Like if you make up your decision that you're not going to fail, then you have to figure out what it takes. One key person that helped me was one of a lady that I met from the Chamber of Commerce. She introduced me to my friend Jessica, and Jessica was teaching marketing at a college. And we used to sit down and have coffee at like a restaurant. And we would just talk about things because she would kind of use me as like a case study. Well, now she says what I'm doing is above what she's teaching in college, and I actually help her now. So I don't know. What helps me out the most is focusing on my content for social media, but then I keep very tight financial books. I don't know. I'm a paper girl. I don't know if you can see behind me. I've got everything has its own notebook. And I mean, this right here is what I'm doing this week. Like I have this. Wonderful. And my marketing is, I have it where I do a content calendar and I stick true to that. So I figured out like, that's the thing that I help the most people with. This thing right here, it's what the heck I need to post about. And then I track it. I'm a tracker. It's simple, but not easy. Does that make sense? It's very simple stuff, but you have to be disciplined enough to do it and to routinely do it whenever it comes to marketing and keeping up with your paperwork.
Wonderful, wonderful, Brandy. Kajabi, life, so many things, learning about. What about clients? How do we ensure that there is a good pipeline of clients?
Oh, my clients? How do I like deal with clients?
Yeah.
Oh, I love my clients. My clients, you know what? We deal mostly now. We have an event called Chicks in the Sticks. Chicks in the Sticks is a women's only event. And then we host a competition called Country Tough Trail Versatility. And I've had some catty people, but I trim that fat real fast. That means if they are toxic or if they are no good for the whole, I tell them they're not welcome back. I know that sounds rough. There's not very many people. There's not very many people that have done that. But whenever I have trimmed that fat and gotten rid of those toxic clients, it has done wonders because it turns out they were toxic with other people. And I don't do it. I don't do it publicly, right? I do it very low key. I don't cuss. I don't raise my voice. I'm just like, hey, there's other trail facilities. Here's a list of them, and I'm sure they would love to have you as a client, but it's just not working. I've had to have that conversation. And if we've ever had difficult clients, I mean, we are like, it's Western world, right? It's the way of the cowboy here. My husband will deal with females if they become irate because a female, if it was me that handled them, they would get irate with me. But with a man, just those male female roles, they don't. They become submissive to my husband. And then if we've had irate men, and we have had those before, then I'm the one that will deal with them because they won't swing on me. They would swing on my husband, but not me. But those are like a single digit number of people combined, like the really, really difficult people. Okay. But how I deal with like my normal people, like 99.9% of my clients, I would give them the shirt off my back. Like they're the family that I chose. And I know that people say that you can't mix friendship and business. If I didn't, I wouldn't have any friends. Like I vacation with some of my clients to Mexico. I call them, I send them funny memes, I send them birthday cards. I literally love my clients, and I go above and beyond for them for like awards. And like I have this all around cowgirl team challenge. And I don't, Wonder Woman, right? Everybody knows who Wonder Woman hopefully is, right? From like the 60s, 70s. I wanted to put the Wonder Woman emblem on the ribbons since it's a women's only event. Dude, I reached out to like Wonder Woman, like the business, and it took 2 phone calls and an email. And now I have permission to put Wonder Woman on my horse show ribbons. So like I do things like that because they mean that to me, and I want to do a good job. And people love that heart about me. You know, they love that I'll go and do those extra things. They love that I care about ribbons. They love that I design our buckles. And, you know, I put my effort where my words are, and people know that they can depend upon that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, what more, what next? Or this is now time to relax a bit, have some good coffee.
Oh, no. I have, you know, I write these children's books, and I have 3 of the 5 done. And a number 4 is written. It's just got to be put into book format. And those focus on mental health for children. And so what I'm wanting to do is get those books into the hands of counselors in the education system all across the United States. And I want to travel. I am going to look for a sponsor that would pay my time to travel to these schools and maybe even offer it for free. Man, there's so many people that have so much money, you know, and if they wanted to do something that promoted mental health for children, that's what I'm going to try to do. Is I'm going to try to provide that service for free for people by finding a sponsor for that. And now I started taking people to Mexico this year for like business retreats, and it's called, so we have Chicks in the Sticks, which is a camping thing, right? That's with the trail facility. I host these events called Smart Chicks, where I'm teaching people how to can and sew and make bread and all, like the homesteading stuff. That's called Smart Chicks. And now I'm taking people with me to, islands and vacations and stuff, and it's called Smart Beaches, which I think that's fun. It's like a little play on words there. But I want to do that and do that during our off time. So I'm basically wanting to vacation with people. I am a people person. My husband is not. He would like to just be he and I only, or him only in his wood shop. But I enjoy being around people. And I do have a big book coming out because I've done a lot and I've overcome a lot. And I think a lot of people could read that story and connect with it. So that book will be coming out after the children's books are finished. So I've got a big book, the children's book, and then I'm always focusing on my health journey because I want to just get more fit and then help other people do the same thing. So those are the big things I've got. They're local, like in my state, in Missouri, where I'm at. I want to host a big horse expo. So I've already bought like the URL for it. And our state fairgrounds is putting in like a multi-million-dollar equine facility. And I'm wanting to host a big state equine expo. The states that are connected to us all have big ones, and there's so much money that just leaches out of our state for the equine industry. So I want to do that too. But just everything just works together. Our ranch is open like 150 days out of the year, so it leaves me other days to do what I'm trying to do. Whenever we're open, we are open, and we have tons and tons of people here. But whenever we're not open, then it allows me to work on different things. Like what I'm about to do this weekend is I'm a presenter at this Midmo Homestead Expo, and I'm actually presenting about marketing, about basic marketing for people. So it all works together. It seems like a lot, but it seems like pieces of a puzzle that work perfectly to me.
Wonderful, wonderful. There's so much to learn about all this from you, Brandy, and I'm sure a lot of people who want to connect with you, learn more about you from you, be your client. What's the best way for them to do so?
If they can spell my name, Brandy Von Holten, they can look up brandyvonholten.com. My largest social media platform is Facebook and TikTok. I'm growing on YouTube and Instagram. I am not on that very well. I don't know if I've got to figure that one out, but the other ones work so well for me that I have it. But on Facebook, it's Brandy Von Holten, but then it says author, speaker, instructor. If you look up just Brandy Von Holten, that's my personal one. And Facebook only allows you to have 5,000 friends. That thing's always maxed out. But the other one, that's where I post on there like 2 or 3 times a day. But my website is a stationary place for everything. That's where people are going to book me for keynote speaking. I even have an international price on there because, you get more famous as soon as you leave your house, right? Like as soon as I travel a little bit, I get way more famous there.
Wonderful, wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me.